Now that I have your attention, if there's anything I didn't like, it would probably be the small plot conveniences, such as everyone's favourites, like they live right next door to each other. Then there is the lack of expansion on the fact that people are scared of Tokasu. They say it's because he has scary eyes, and that is referenced, but in a stark contrast, he has a healthy-sized friend group and seems like a pretty average guy. The fact that it took like 2 episodes for everyone that did care to get over themselves makes it seem like a detail was just slapped in there to validate a character design. It's mentioned a few times, but more in a joking way, and it feels like a missed opportunity for character development. Other problems I had were minor ones linked to tropes, such as obligatory perverted character. Tropes can work. I don't have a problem with them. I have a problem with the fact that they're overused. And an example of tropes working is the lead male being a good cook and the lead female being an absolute mess. They actually contribute to the story a little bit, rather than being detail that's, once again, slapped on there for no reason at all and makes no sense. Wait. That's a good thing. Damn it. I really just am baffled by how well everything is executed. There is no fear when it comes to throwing a topic at you. A lot of the time, things just happen when you least expect. For example, in an episode, the main character Tokasu finds out something about his friend Kitamura. Tokasu thinks Kitamura is being an idiot. He even said,
"And kick the crap out of him."
His line delivery and his expression made me think he'd do it. I've seen a handful of emotional fights between guys in similar shows. Instead, they just sat on a step and talked it over. I think it was a perfect execution of a scene because it shows that you don't need to solve every issue with physical violence, or in the same formula as other shows. Wait, no, that's not how that's meant to. Now, hold on, man. I'm not done with Tokasu just yet. One more thing I want to talk about is how he's involved in Tiger's life. In one of the episodes, Tiger's dad appears from the aether and wants to be involved in Tiger's life suddenly after being MIA for some time. She doesn't want him and clearly despises him. Her best friend Minarine agrees with this. But Tokasu thinks he should be given another chance. But it is revealed to us that Tokasu had an extremely biased thought pattern because we know he doesn't have a father at all. As a result, he ends up facing a harsh reality about the truth of Tiger's father. He isn't committed to his family, and they've been through this before. It was a very good show of a character making a mistake that I thought almost certainly would end well, and then it didn't. And the mistake is even emphasized. If you prompted someone in real life to try and reform a connection with the person, you could very much change their lives. And that is all too real. Almost everything good about Toradora concerns the way the characters are written. In a lot of anime, you spend time inside the character's head, and you hear their thoughts. You watch the show as more of an all-seeing being that knows all the details about the situation the characters are in. You get every point of view and have the ability to understand what will happen next. However, in Toradora, you don't really have that. You don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. As a result, you get rarely human-feeling characters. An extension of the human feeling is bringing forward the character's flaws. Armin is a great example of this. Things like being passive-aggressive and holding grudges are commonplace for her. Armin is a character framed as a pretty horrible person when you first meet her, but despite all her harsh ways of dealing with her friends and sometimes crappy attitude, I found it incredibly difficult to dislike her. Throughout the show, it is slowly revealed why she takes the actions that she does, and it makes her seem much more understandable than when you first meet her. I honestly thought she would be an extreme play on the pretty girl trope, which, if you don't understand what that is, there is usually a character that is dubbed the perfect character, and a fan club or something is formed around them. It's annoying, and in Toradora it is done to an extent, but in the same vein, all the tropes within the show actually are more tolerable than other shows. I could go on, but I think you get the point by now. The way the characters function is extremely balanced, and they make mistakes sometimes. They are very reasonable in the sense that they seem well written. I'm also quite amazed by how the tropes are so seamlessly integrated that I didn't really notice them. Toradora has definitely solidified itself as a favorite of mine. Everything works together, and the characters are good. Great. Even. It completely blew away my expectations, and I'm glad it did. Going in, the last thing I expected was a well-balanced cast with in-depth backgrounds. Thankfully, that means I get content, speaking of which, you should definitely go watch this video.